parallel connection of charge capacitors. Okay, so we will start with this topic. That means you have two capacitors which are already charged, and now you are going to connect them in parallel. So there will be a redistribution of charge again. You have to find the new charges, the new potential. So first of all, let's just say I have a capacitor on which positive charge is present on the left plate and negative on the right plate, and its capacitance is C1. This capacitor is charged to Q1, and it has a potential of V1 across it. So I can clearly say Q1 is equal to C1 V1.
Yes.
Right. We will be using this value. Now, also I have another capacitor which has value C2. It is charged with a potential V2, and the battery is disconnected now. And you can say it has charges Q2 and minus Q2. So these capital letters denote the initial charges on them. I have two options now with me to connect these capacitors. First one is like this. I can connect the positive terminal of this one with the positive and negative with the negative. This is the first connection. This is the first possibility. And the second one is this. You can connect the dissimilar plates. Okay, they can be connected in any sense. But for now, we are going to discuss the first case. The second case is similar. In the first case, you are connecting similar plates. So you can write similar plates are joined. We have to discuss that case in the beginning. Okay, so got it? What we are getting into, right? Now, quickly try to answer me a question. Let's just say I have two capacitors and I took a wire and I connected just their left plates, not the right one. Means there is no connection on the right plates. So will there be a distribution of charge? Will the charge from first plate will move towards the second, or something like vice versa will happen or not?
Yes, sir, as there is a potential differences there will.
You sure about that?
Yes, sir, if you see between the plates, there is a...
Okay, let's just say, let's take a hypothetical case. I am assuming that this positive charge has moved onto other plate. Okay, there will be a redistribution of charge. So some plate will get more charge and on some plate charge will be reduced. But this will be contradicting to our previous principle that charge on the facing plates of a capacitor should be equal and opposite. So as you can see, if the first plate has lost some charge, its value will be lesser than Q1.
Lesser than Q1, yes.
And its facing plate should have equal and opposite charge. So its facing plate cannot change the charge. So, right. So in this scenario, there will be no flow of charge. Okay. Just remember this one, because in numericals, it is very necessary. It is very much important. If a single plate cannot exchange charge until and unless the other plate also changes the charge. So in the next ongoing sessions, we will be connecting capacitor plates like this one. There is nothing, there is nothing. So these will not exchange charge until and unless you complete the circuit. All the plates will exchange their charges when the equal and opposite condition can be, changed. Means equal and opposite, that condition remains the same. There is no invalidity of that equation, right? Now, what I am doing is I am taking another wire and then I have a switch with me. I think you know that this means switch.
Which is off, yeah.
So in this current situation, is the switch on or off?
Sir, off.
Off. So what would you say? The switch is opened or closed?
Sir, open.
Open, yeah. When the switch is open, there will be no flow of current.
No flow of current, yes, sir.
Now, when I show this arrow, it means initially there will be no flow and you have just turned on the switch. So now things can flow, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is our condition. So now I have close the switch. That means now there can be redistribution of charge. So how would you proceed from now on? How would you solve these questions? What's your approach?
So sir, now they're in like parallel combination, right?
I know that that's just hidden in the heading, parallel connection of charge capacitor, but how would you try to solve these one? Means what will be your approach?
So sir, first of all, we'll find the equivalent capacitance.
Okay, let's just say small q denotes final charge. Okay, so we know that there will be a redistribution of charges. So the first capacitor has q1 charge and the second capacitor will have q2 charge. Okay, now can you relate q1 and q2 somehow? So in
Yes, sir,
such cases, yeah, yes, please.
So we can use Q is equal to C1 V1 by finding out the
Right. You can use by conservation of charge. C1 V1 is also a charge. So by conservation of charge, what charge did you have in the beginning? What was the total charge?
So Q1.
Q1 plus Q2. You can see that these plates are connected. So only these plates can redistribute, can exchange some of the charges. Okay. Now, so initial charge was Q1 and Q2. What about the final charge? These are Q1, yeah, yes. Right? Plus Q2, right? Any doubt in that? Let's just say I have a new symbol VC, which denotes V common. Can you guess it? The common potential difference. We have seen in the previous chapter that when you connect two conductors, charge will keep on flowing until the potential becomes equal. Yeah. So now both capacitors have potential of VC across them. The final potential difference across both the capacitors is VC.
Yes.
Okay. The final potential difference across both capacitors is VC. Remember this one. Now, can you tell me in terms of VC, what will be the final charge on the first capacitor? What will be the value of Q1?
Q1 is equal to C1 VC.
Right. So we know that Q is equal to CV. It will always be valid. Capacitance is independent of charges. So no matter whether you connect the capacitors or not, their individual capacitance will be C1 and C2. That is not going to be changed, right? So yes. Q1 is this one and Q2 is what? C2 into VC.
Yes, sir.
Now use this equation. You know that Q1 was C1 V1, Q2 was C2 V2. And now Q1 and Q2 are C1 V common plus C2 V common. Are you agreeing with that?
Sure.
Can you find the value of V common? What will be the final common potential? Sorry.
So VC is equal to C1 V1 plus C2 V2 by C1 plus C2 by C1 plus C2.
So as you can see, somehow this result is again a little bit similar of what we had studied about connecting two conducting capacitors and finding their common potential that we studied in the last class.
Yes, sir.
You can, turn your pages to see this result will be exactly similar to that one.
Yes, sir. It is.
Got it?
Yeah.
Now you can also prove this result by a lot of other ways. Like when you have two capacitors, these one. So when I'm connecting in them, like in this scenario, they are in parallel. So I know that C parallel is C1 plus C2. And when I use Q is equal to CV, total charge was Q1 plus Q2. Net C is CP, and we have to find V common. So again, you can also derive this relation from that one.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember a little bit of work energy power from 11th class? Like there was a topic of collision.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Conservation of momentum. And
So have you written this one down?
yes, sir.
Okay. So just for a minute, I want to show a little bit of symmetry in physics. So we are going back into the class. So in class 11th, we had studied that when we have two blocks of masses m1 and m2, and like they are moving, and then their initial velocities are u1 and u2, there is a like collision that they show in the cartoons, like there will be dust and clouds. Now, the first and the second block, their velocities are v1 and v2. So do you remember perfectly inelastic collision?
Sir, elastic, I remember. Yeah.
Perfectly inelastic. Yeah, there was perfectly elastic, the inelastic, the perfectly inelastic collision. What was the condition of perfectly inelastic collision?
So like the total kinetic energy different.
Okay, listen. When in like perfectly inelastic collision, two bodies collide. Either they stick or their final velocity remains same.
Yes, sir.
So these two will move with a common final velocity. We also know that there is maximum loss of kinetic energy in perfectly inelastic collision. So do you remember the formula of loss of kinetic energy? Like the initial kinetic energy is half m1 u1 square plus half m2 u2 square. This is the value of initial kinetic energy.
Yes, sir.
Minus both are acting as a single body, means in a perfectly inelastic collisions bodies stick.
Yes, sir. Yes,
stick
so
together. So now, as you can see, I can say this is the final kinetic energy. When you use the conservation of momentum and place the value of final V, you can reduce this equation like half m1 m2 over m1 plus m2 into u1 minus u2 square. This was the formula of loss of kinetic energy in a perfectly inelastic collision.
Yes, sir.
Forgot?
Yes, sir. I remember that.
It's okay, no problem. Now, here, the masses will be replaced by capacitors and velocities will be replaced by potentials. Okay, so a question for you is, let's just say you have two capacitors. The first one is C1 charged to V1 potential. The second one is C2 charged to potential V2. And now you have connected them in parallel, like this one. So C1, C2, their common potential, we already know about them. So you have to find how much loss of electrical energy will be present in here. Can you? Means in the beginning, when I taught you about half CV square formula, what did I tell you about half? What does it indicate?
Yeah, it's a loss.
Means we know that when we are charging a capacitor, some heat is always produced. So here you can also see when there will be an exchange of charges, when there will be a redistribution of charges, there will be a production of heat. So how are we going to find the production of heat, or you can say the loss of electrical energy? So as you can see, what's your initial energy?
Half
What is it?
C1.
Right? Half C1 V1 square, that's on the first capacitor, and half C2 V2 square, that's on the second capacitor. And what's your final energy? That will be half. These are in parallel.
Yeah, so C1 plus C2.
C2 into V common square.
So yeah, whereas voltage is same.
We already know the value of V common.
V1. Yeah.
So put the value of V common. And now when I say we have a loss, so which energy will be more, the initial or the final?
Sir, initial would be more.
Yeah. So your loss will be initial minus final energy. And now, okay, write it down.
Yes, sir.
Now, just look at the formula that I showed you about the, loss of energy in collision. So we had half M1, M2. So instead of masses, put capacitances, right? And instead of velocities, put potential differences. So this will be your answer of loss. It's a lot similar. In perfectly inelastic collision, the final velocities are same. In here, the final potentials are same.